1, 2, 3, 4.
I think we got one more grappling with the text introduction to the Ten Commandments. We're going to talk about the specifics of vocation, and make a couple of points, and then next week I promise that we're going to dig into the text of the Ten Commandments themselves. Now, when we speak of vocation, we're really talking about, remember this, what is your station in life according to the Ten Commandments? That's the question that Luther asks us to ask whenever we're confessing our sins, but we also ask that question when it's time to pray and when it's time to do, when it's time to act. And this is really our station in life, is our vocation. Now, all of us have various different vocations according to the three estates, the estate of the family, and the state of the church, and the estate of the state. Now, so all of us are children. We have parents. Some of us are married. Some of us are parents, grandparents, and all of this sorts of things. So we have different estates according to the family. All of us are Christians. At least if you're not, you should be. Go find the nearest Lutheran pastor and have him baptize you. Some of us are pastors, and so we have different roles. And all of us are citizens, maybe most of the United States, some places throughout the world. But one of the dangers when we think of our vocation according to the estates is that we think of it in abstraction. In other words, I think of myself as a husband, as a father, as a pastor, but it's more than that. We want to fight against this idea of abstractions and think of our vocations in very concrete terms. So I'm not just a husband, I'm Carrie's husband, and I'm not just a father, I'm father to Hannah, Andrew, Daniel, and Isaac. I'm not just a son, but I'm Chuck and Alinda's son, so that the specifics of our vocation are particularly important. Now, while we said a couple of weeks ago that all of the commandments would command us to love our neighbor, and this is an important, love is the fulfilling of the law. We want to realize that love has different shapes according to vocation. So that my love, for example, for my children looks very different than my love for the congregation. If I was going out and packing lunches and buying new shoes for all of the members of the congregation, that would be weird. They're not my children. So my love for the children, it has a different shape than my love for the congregation. My love for my elected official looks very different than my love for the people that live next door to me in the house over around the corner. You see, so that our love is going to take different shapes according to our different vocations. Okay. Now, the love of husband and wife for one another, for example, is a particularly unique shape of love that is expressly forbidden in any other sort of context. So, we fight against abstraction. We realize that vocation means that my neighbor has a name that I'm honoring, and that love takes on different shapes according to our vocation. Now, because of the different shapes of love, this means that it is here in the realm of the law, and remember, we're talking about the Ten Commandments, so this is the law, in the realm of the law and in the realm of love, that this is where I exercise creativity. I think there's been a lot of nonsense happen in the church because we've wanted to be creative people, but we've applied our creativity to doctrine, or we've applied our creativity to teaching, or we've applied our creativity to worship. In other words, we've tried to think of new things there. And this, it has to do not with our life of love, but this has to do with our faith. And we have not been invited or commanded or told or, in fact, authorized to apply our creativity to our faith. That's the Lord's realm of creativity. And according to His Word, He's creating faith through this thing that does not change, through His Word. So we don't want to apply our creativity to these sorts of things. Let me see if I can do this. Creativity is not applied to these things, but rather creativity is applied to the way that I'm going about loving my neighbor. So, thinking of new ways of teaching the Lord's word, thinking of new ways of caring for my wife and for my children, considering new ways to go and care for the neighbor, both in my neighborhood and also in the neighborhood of the people around the church. This is all really quite wonderful and beautiful and good. But when I try to apply the creativity to the doctrine, I'm doing the wrong thing. Okay, so vocation. That is our station in life, according to the estates, but it's not an abstraction. Our neighbor has a name, and that love for our different neighbors looks different, depending on the 10 Commandments, 5th Commandment, 4th Commandment, 6th Commandment, 7th Commandment, so forth. Love has then a different shape, depending on who the neighbor is and what vocation I'm in, and because that love has a different shape, that is the place where we exercise our creativity, and not in the doctrine. All right? Last thing I wanted to say to introduce the 10 Commandments. Next week, first commandment, you shall have no other gods. All right, here's the advertising. Oh, look at this. This is my first bumper sticker that I ever made. You can download it at tabletalkradio.org. You can tape it on your TV for the upcoming election cycle. Hillary looks like I look like when I'm watching the news. Huh. All right, see you next week. First commandment.